Fabrizio Romano just delivered an urgent update on the £60 million target before the summer transfer window. A renowned expert claims the Gunners' target striker is superior to the Norwegian giant Erling Haaland. Stay with me until the end of the video to check out the latest news from Arsenal straight from the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. Arsenal have work to do heading into this summer if they're going to catch Manchester City next season. The Gunners need to get some new signings through the door. Much of the focus has been on a new midfielder or a new striker, but another pressing issue is down the right wing. Indeed, just last week, Mikel Arteta was criticized for overusing Bukayo Saka down the right flank, and Arsenal need another quality player in that position to allow for rotation. Luckily, help could be on the way, as, according to Fabrizio Romano, speaking on the United stand, Arsenal are indeed admirers of Michael Olise from Crystal Palace. Romano shared what he knows about the £60 million man and Arsenal's interest. Olise is one of the names in the list for sure, but it's not something advanced in terms of negotiations or contacts now, Romano said. There will be competition from many clubs including Chelsea who wanted to sign him a year ago. He is appreciated at Newcastle and Arsenal, so there is competition, it won't be easy. Michael Olise would be perfect for Arsenal. There may not be a player in the Premier League who is more suited to being Bukayo Saka's understudy than Olise. Both players are incredible down that right flank, cutting in onto their left feet either to create chances or put the ball in the net, and they would dovetail together so well in the same team. However, unfortunately for Arsenal, signing Olise won't be easy. As Romano says, a number of clubs are keen on the winger, while Olise would likely want to be a guaranteed starter wherever he went, a luxury he wouldn't necessarily be afforded at Arsenal. This one is worth keeping an eye on, but Olise to Arsenal does feel unlikely this summer. Harry Kane encounters Arsenal shirt in viral video, fans won't like what he did next. Harry Kane has now provoked Arsenal supporters with his response to one of the North London club's shirts in a recent online video. There is plenty of animosity between Arsenal and Harry Kane. Whilst the striker now plies his trade for Bayern Munich, he spent a long time on the books with the Gunners' bitter North London rivals Tottenham Hotspur. In his time with Spurs, the England star was regularly a thorn in Arsenal's side. However, things may have been very different had he not been released by Arsenal as a child when he was briefly part of the club's academy system. Kane is now a Tottenham icon and naturally can't show any affection for the Gunners. As such, it was no surprise to see the 30-year-old refuse to sign an Arsenal shirt when presented with one in a recent video posted by fanatics on TikTok.
Yeah, they've been I'm not signing that. Got the wrong shirt here. Come on.
Arsenal fans may be irked by this, but realistically, Kane was never going to react in any other way. Mikel Arteta's side came up against Kane earlier this season when they encountered Bayern Munich in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. The German giants ultimately got the better of the Gunners in a close-fought two-legged affair. In the midst of these fixtures, Kane expressed his admiration for Arsenal striker Gabriel Jesus, whilst also voicing his respect for the threat that the Gunners pose. Whilst Bayern Munich were able to eliminate Arsenal from Europe's elite club competition, they themselves were knocked out by Real Madrid in the next round. This result meant that Kane's wait for a first trophy would endure, as Bayer Leverkusen were triumphant in the Bundesliga this season, and Bayern Munich had already been knocked out of the DFB Pokal. Meanwhile, Arsenal established their own supremacy over Tottenham Hotspur this season, beating them home and away in the Premier League. Arsenal made North London derby history in April as they raced to a 3-goal lead in record time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Arteta will expect his side to maintain their dominance over their neighbours next season, as the Gunners will look to go one step better than this time around and actually win the Premier League title. Jay Bothroyd has claimed that one striker Arsenal want to sign this summer would actually score more goals for Manchester City than Erling Haaland if he played for Pep Guardiola's men. Arsenal will be looking for the final pieces in the jigsaw over the summer after coming so close to winning the Premier League title once again this season. Kai Havertz has definitely silenced a lot of his critics with his performances since being pushed up front, but the striker position remains one area some fans probably feel the club need to strengthen in before the new campaign. The Gunners have been linked with a host of names, including Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak, a better striker than Erling Haaland. Isak has had an outstanding season with Newcastle United, scoring 21 goals in just 30 Premier League games. Mikel Arteta and Edu are both big admirers of Isak, and it seems that it is a similar story with Jay Bothroyd, with the pundit telling the Opta Sport football podcast that he would pick the Newcastle star to lead the line in his team of the season. He's the best number 9, if he was to play for City, he would score more goals than Haaland. He's a better finisher, he's a better all-round player, he's better at one-on-ones. He's faster, he said. Of course, Arsenal will be under absolutely no illusions about how difficult it will be to lure Isak away from St. James' Park, particularly as the Magpies broke their transfer record to sign him in the first place. And it seems that Newcastle are ready to make a big push to keep the 24-year-old on Tyneside. TBR Football recently reported that Newcastle are ready to make Isak their highest-paid player ever, and they are confident that he will decide to extend his contract with the club. Newcastle have lofty ambitions after getting a taste of Champions League football this season, and keeping Isak seems to be absolutely crucial to realizing those ambitions. So Arsenal are going to have to make an eye-watering offer if they are going to convince Newcastle to even take a seat at the negotiating table. Mikel Arteta has been told what transfer Arsenal must make a priority if the Gunners are to beat Manchester City to the Premier League title. The North London Giants fell short of winning the biggest prize in English football as both Arsenal and City won on the final day of the season, giving Pep Guardiola's side their 4th consecutive Premier League title. Having won 16 out of 18 league games in 2024, Arsenal put in a Herculean effort to take City to the last game of the campaign, with attention now shifting to the summer transfer window. And Arsenal and Arteta have been urged to make one particular signing a priority. Pundit says Arsenal need a centre-forward if they're to beat Manchester City. Speaking on the two Robbies, pundit Robbie Mustoe made the suggestion that Arsenal need to sign a world-class striker if they're to bridge the gap between themselves and City in the Premier League title race. With Arsenal linked with the likes of Benjamin Sesko, all signs currently point towards the Gunners targeting an attacker who can lead the line next season, a development that will be an interesting one. Mustoe said, "I think if they can bring in that striker who can get those kind of numbers, 20 to 25 goals, and hopefully more, I think that is a priority if they can find that guy. Of course, everyone wants to find that guy, but Arsenal are going to have money, they're going well, they're doing great, and they're going to spend money. Arsenal know they need to sign the perfect striker this summer." With Kai Havertz leading the line in the second half of the season with excellent results, Arsenal are aware that the German international is not a long-term option in the striker position. And as a result, the Gunners need to go out and sign the perfect centre-forward this summer, with Arteta likely to be back again this window to spend big on players. Indeed, Arsenal are aware of what they need if they're to go all the way against City next season, and the North London side will ideally want to get their business done early this summer ahead of pre-season. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.